fighting.
Congratulations! You have found WrestleShoot, hosted by the Wild Thing Rob Wilds and the ladies' man Chris Casanova. Combined, we have 40 years of wrestling experience, and we're here to share those experiences, stories, and knowledge with you over the podcast airwaves. We'll be joined by friends of ours from time to time to share their stories and experiences with you as well. So climb aboard the crazy train we call WrestleShoot. We know how to do it, and we do it real well.
God damn it, I love that fucking song, man. We've been using that song for so long in our careers. And it's just going strong, baby. We're never going to get rid of that.
Nope.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of WrestleShoot. And I am your host, the Wild Thing, Rob Wilds, joined, of course, by none other than the magnificent one. He is a man among men. He's my hetero life mate, the great and powerful Chris Casanova. What's up, honey?
Thank you.
That was the best one yet, right?
Yeah. It gets better every week.
I didn't even plan that shit, dude. You know how good I spew bullshit. So
bullshit's right.
No, who said that? What? Oh. God damn it. Cut that fucking part out here. Son of a bitch.
Well, cut it out. Was that the
cut it out. Oh, man, you used to love that.
Wow.
Well, we don't really have anything fun and catchy to talk about as far
nothing
as
interesting at all.
Well, I mean, as far as any like current wrestling news or gossip or buzz, because I mean, honestly, we've never really given a shit about that anyway. But there's nothing that was real that grabbed our attention, right?
Not really.
So what's going on with you, sweetie? Anything interesting right now?
Oh man, I wish I had something for you. I just don't, man. Just besides doing WrestleShoot, just doing my regular job. You know, trying to sell houses. That's all I'm trying to do.
Okay, this has gone off the railing because you're boring the shit out of me. So I think we should make it a little more.
Bueller,
fuck it. What's up, guys?
What's up,
baby?
Man?
We have with us today, guys, an actual real like shoot married couple who somehow tours together and doesn't like put each other in legit arm bars every night.
Sometimes.
Don't speak too highly on that.
Hey, I like your stylish headwear.
I like yours too, my dear.
Wow, thank you.
We should go paint the town red.
It's my Papa Shango chic.
Yeah.
More misbehaving chic, baby.
Oh. All right, so look, first of all, how the fuck did y'all come together from the business or outside of the business? And wow, look at this coincidence.
All right. So do you want the fluff story or do you want the hardcore story?
Well, this is WrestleShoot where we don't pull any punches around this bitch.
Yeah, we want the full hardcore story.
We're pretty much drug addict, homeless kids. I mean, right? You said
Lord. Well, yes.
And we wound up, it was my buddy was dating her. And he knew because she was a fuck up like I was. So he's like, well, it's just a whole big story. Anyway, my buddy brought her over to my house to stay with me and we wound up hooking up.
You make me sound so much more misbehaving than what I actually
am. Made yourself sound homeless. How did he bring her home?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
So he brought her over to my house and she was staying with us and we wound up hooking up and he got mad, but I don't want to go into detail. I don't know each other that well.
How about this?
I'm the one with nothing to hide. Okay?
Why don't we restart? Why don't we restart the story and let her tell the fluffy version?
Thank you. Right?
Yeah. All right. Ready? Take two. Go.
Take two. So, back in 1993, it kind of started with both of us being in horrible relationships. We ended up having a daughter from him with his ex. I ended up having a daughter from my ex-husband. Well, unfortunately, my ex-husband didn't know he was going to be an ex when I decided that it was time for me to go, because he ended up choosing the drug life over his new wife and his baby. So, because I wasn't going to stick around for all of that, being so young, knowing it wasn't going to change, I said, you know what? I want to go find my tall, long-haired stoner instead of my short, skinhead husband that really didn't know much of anything. And I surely didn't know either, because I was young and he was much older than I was. So when I walked out of my house, I told my neighbor, I'm going to find the guy that's in my dreams. And literally,
It was me,
it was
guys.
him. But before he actually came along, before he actually came along and I knew what my vision actually was coming to life, I booked and I was staying with some friends in a complex down the street from where I was living. And I heard some awesome jamming music happening in the apartment. And I kind of hung out to see who was going to come out of the apartment eventually, because it was some rocking ass music. And his friend ended up coming out. And we just started being friendly and hanging out. And I said, well, I'm kind of looking for a new chapter, so let's see what you've got to bring. But it was just friends with short-lived benefits. You know, you get bored, you know, you want to have a good time. But he was married. And with that being said, he surely couldn't take me out of where I was. So he said, hey, I have a friend that's kicked to the curb. His choice, all because we didn't want to live by mommy's rules. He decided to choose to be homeless. And me, I was just looking for my next pit stop. So as his friend said, I have a buddy that's going to keep you safe and make sure that you stay out of jail and you don't get into any fights and blah, blah, blah. He brought me to Orland Park, Illinois. And as he was telling me all about his best friend, all I could think of was, he's definitely not going to be my real tall, long hair stoner, because anybody from Orland Park is a wannabe. And you probably have money and you just want to act
fuck
like
you, Orland Park.
We didn't have money. We didn't have money.
They didn't. We didn't find this out until after I got with them.
Yeah, she thought she got something.
But literally, our friend Art ended up saying, hey, let's go take this ride. So we went to his mom's house to go look for him. His mom's like, he hasn't been here for days. Everybody's looking for him. He's running the streets, having a grand old time. He's probably up at that Brown's Chicken.
Fuck yeah.
You guys know what Brown's Chicken is?
No.
Brown's Chicken? Anybody? No? That little franchise that, you know, everybody.
It's a chicken place.
Yeah,
Popeyes, like a Popeyes kind of.
So,
Okay.
lo and behold, we walk into the Brown's Chicken. He wasn't there, but the ex-girlfriend was there. And all I was hearing about is how horrible he was. And,
horrible guy.
you know, he's just doing wrong.
Just a piece of fucking garbage.
Just a piece of shit. So I ended up actually meeting her first, and she had no clue that our friend was there dropping me off to her ex-boyfriend, basically. When he walked in, it literally was love at first sight. And if I could show you the picture of what he looked like, everybody would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you, girl? But it was. When he walked in, it was the vision that I had in my dreams as I sat thinking, God, I'm going to be this lonely housewife to some scumbag. And now I have a great scumbag that ever since that day, we have been irreceptible, or whatever that word is, but
inseparable.
Literally
Inseparable.
inseparable.
She has a problem.
Yes, I do have a problem. Yeah, my words are always tongue-tied. But for what it ended up being, his friend trusted that, yeah, I'll come by on the weekends. You guys have fun, you know, blah, blah. Never knew that we were actually going to hook up that night. And it ended up being his mother's birthday. And that's the reason why I know the date that we actually hooked up all those years ago, because I ended up meeting his mom the next day.
That's funny.
And
that was Amy just popped on.
That's
was her brother that introduced
Amy
us.
that you guys just saw. That's the sister.
Well, welcome to WrestleShoot, Amy, here on the Antisocial Network. We
That's funny.
appreciate you.
But you see why I got her as my manager, right? She's a mouthpiece. She can keep fucking going all night, dude.
Okay,
am
so
the
look,
Flav of the ring, baby.
All right,
I
so
get
you're the
everybody
mouthpiece.
hyped.
Okay, gotcha.
you know, guys, you had one story that was short and abrupt and horrible. Then you had one story that was right out of a romantic novel. Dude, me and Chris got to talk about this for a second. Chris, brother, somebody here we got to call bullshit on some part of this. So what part of bullshit are we going to call here?
Ooh, man.
Ooh, call it, baby.
Because you can't be like, oh yeah, we were a couple of homeless drug addicts fucking in the streets, and then she'd be like, oh my god, I farted out.
I call bullshit
You know,
on that
I
one.
fell out of a hot air balloon and I
Nope.
farted hearts. And
No. When I came to Orland Park, I was the one with the tattoos and all the piercings and just a real badass attitude. So it was though. Nobody really saw a girl like me in Orland Park at that time.
Yeah, because fuck Orland Park, right?
Yeah, fuck Orland Park.
Fuck Orland Park. And all the cops that were in it too at that time.
Fuck the police coming
there was
straight
a
from the
couple
underground. Sorry.
But it was the 90s, and there was definitely newspaper articles written about the zombies of Orland. And
that was me.
That was him. Every cop in Orland was very, I should say, scared as they locked their doors, and that's no bullshit. There was several cops that when we walked past them, they didn't want to deal with us.
That's not gimmick either.
That wasn't gimmicky. It wasn't really cool. Now that we think about it, it was really hurt us in the long run, being the rebels that we are.
I was gonna
the defiant ones.
I was gonna be a cowboy gimmick from the age when I was little and I started watching wrestling, and I was gonna be a cowboy. Wasn't sure of the name or nothing. The first time I went to jail, it changed everything with the orange. I seen the orange guys in Cook County Jail and saw the DOC on the back, and I'm like, that's a no fucking brainer. So
I have this vision that I know is impossible, but I haven't given up on it yet. See, we remember bum fights, right?
Yeah,
of course.
I think it would be fucking sick if we could go put up a ring in minimum security right down there in the pit, man. You get all the prisoners in their suits up there on the fucking catwalks, man. And you have actual workers come in, but we'll grab jumpsuits from these guys from the neighboring county jails, like feuds, and work that. I think that'd be fucking sick.
That'd be awesome.
Let's do it.
I've thought about that many times. The Johnny Cash doing the Folsom Prison. I'm like, well, he did it, and then Metallica wound up recording a video in at San Quentin, and I thought, I'm like, man, there's got to be some place that we can do this at. I went to take some promo pics up by Will County Jail, where the Blues Brothers movie was filmed, and they wound up almost arresting me for taking pictures. I was in there like, dude.
He was in his DOC suit. And
I look at it now, it's kind of a bad decision, but
horrible decision.
I went walking down the wall, there's the guard towers. I'm like, obviously they have to know that I'm not a fucking prisoner here. They see me pull up in a car, I get out and I start walking upside the wall, but they weren't happy, dude. They weren't happy at all. And the guy that introduced us, I had him dressed up as a Cook County sheriff. And he had a real bulletproof vest and all that shit. Like it was legit as fuck. But again, we pulled up in a car. We both get out. We walk up to the wall. I put my hands behind my back, and somebody's firing off pictures as we're walking. You would think, but they didn't find it as funny as I did.
Another story on that situation. When Doc first started in the business, he ended up going to do a muscular dystrophy charity show in Berwyn, Illinois. And there was a very famous DJ that was there hosting the whole thing.
She was very famous, but she was well known in her community. She was well known.
Anyway, he went with our buddy all in gimmick, and the actual cops were doing security at that show. they fooled the real cops,
The cops
so much.
The cops came up and asked me, "Who do I know?" It was a biker thing. It was. I forgot who was doing
like a biker fundraiser.
but it was like a fundraiser through a biking community, and it was a bunch of bikers that kept showing up, and it was me and my chains and my outfit. And the cops came up and were like, "Dude, who do you know that you're able to come out and participate in something like this?" And I looked up and like, "Wait, what? Are you serious right now?" And he's like, "Well, dude, it was the cop because it was actually my stepsister's husband. He was a Cook County cop, and he was staying at my mom's house, and I wound up stealing his bulletproof vest and a bunch of Cook County cop shirts." And he was dressed up in that, so that's what really sold it, was the real uniform.
So he actually sold his gimmick to real cops, that thought that he was such a badass that he was able to get out of prison just to come and do this wrestling show.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, the meet and greet,
the meet and greet in shackles.
That would be a human being that is a whole special and unique kind of fucking stupid, is what I say.
I'm telling you, dude, there was I just couldn't believe it when it came up. I was like, I thought he was fucking with me. And
yeah, man, I'm going to break out the can here so I can run down to this indie thing. Fuck it.
Yeah, right.
Listen, before we move forward, guys, there's a couple of things. Chris, I know we're going to put this gimmick to bed, and today's going to be the last time.
Oh my gosh, are you really going to bring this up again?
No, it's not what you're thinking. This is our one final shout out, our final big love call out we're doing for Monty and Pharaoh. A couple of buddies of ours also in the business. And Ron Shaw appeared on their show. And it was his classic disrespectful, psychotic piece of shit self. So in honor of Monty and Monty and the Pariah.
The Pariah, get it? Yep, there you go.
That's right. Let's just give a one last time fuck you to Big Ron Shaw, cry baby of the year. You're a beautiful, beautiful little girl, Ron Shaw, and go fuck yourself.
Where's his bra, dude?
When you appear on somebody else's program, you ain't calling no fucking shots. I can't even once in my entire life recall a Ron Shaw match that made me go, dude, Ron Shaw's the man. No. So goodbye to the gimmick. Fuck you, Ron Shaw. What up, Monty and Pharaoh? And on with the show.
No, the Pariah.
The Pariah, right.
Right.
On with the show. It's a long story.
Yeah.
So what do we think, Chris? Has their origin story now kind of come together and made more sense for us?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, we could continue on. There's so much
dude,
more.
yeah, we can. I tell you stories you wouldn't even believe.
So
and that's the thing.
I wouldn't believe. Shit, you don't know me.
Oh, wrestling, dude. I got some stories for wrestling, but I would be calling.
Our real life is so much better than a wrestling show.
Yeah.
Honestly.
How did you get into wrestling? Like, what was the like?
Say it again. Hold on. What'd you say?
So the whole story about
wrestling.
getting into it.
So I went out and went to Windy City Pro Wrestling, if you guys remember them.
Yep.
Okay, so I started out there. I went there when I was a kid. I was probably 19, and I was going to join up. And of course, they wanted money, and I didn't have it at the time. A few years later, I'm in the airport, walk into, and this is another unfucking believable story, dude, but I swear on fucking everything, it's the truth. I'm walking through the O'Hare Airport.
Midway.
Was Midway?
It was Midway.
And I look over and I see who I believe to be the Iron Sheik. And he looks at me with these puppy dog eyes, like he's like,
yeah.
And he's looking at me like, oh. And my gut dropped, and I'm like, dude, I'm leaving. I can't. It's not him, but like he made me nervous. Stop. Let me tell the fucking story.
Oh, that's right, woman. Silence.
Yeah, she'll go into too much fucking detail. So
details is what works.
No, it don't.
She wants to talk. I can see her. She's like ready. She's like, I want to.
I know,
something.
and it's pissing me off. You're aggravating the shit out of me. My hat's and everything. So
now, see, that's a married couple. Okay.
So I go. We're dropping our daughter off, and I'm like, dude, that's the Iron Sheik. There's nobody I've ever seen with the twisty fucking mustache before in my life.
And I said, no, it's not.
So I go back. I'm like, I got to go back and see. Like he looked at me, like I said, the big puppy dog eyes. He looked at me like he wanted to fucking communicate, you know. So I'm like, I'm going back and just asking the man if it was him, you know.
And I said, I'm going to put my child on this plane so she could go have fun.
More details you
and I'll
don't
catch
need.
up with you.
More details you don't need.
As I was standing at the gate putting my daughter on the plane, the lady comes up over the intercom and she has this hesitation in her voice. She doesn't want to say, will the Iron Sheik please call so-and-so extension? She ended up saying the Iron Sheik, and my stomach dropped and said, I'll be damned. That was the motherfucking Iron Sheik. And my husband just went. Actually, we weren't married at the time, but I could not believe that, yes, he was right. It was the Iron Sheik sitting on a bench in an airport.
So then I walked up to him and he still had them eyes. And I'm like, dude, I said, Iron Sheik, you know, I can't remember the first words I said to him, but he wound up shaking my hand and he thought I was there to pick him up because his plane was late because his real name is Hussein something.
Right.
Right around that time,
while
the shit was going down. So they held him at the airport to run a check on him. And so the promoter wound up fucking ditching him there. He had they had like Sensational Sherry,
Greg the
Hammer, a bunch of people like that. And so they wound up leaving and left him there. So he thought I was one of the guys to take him to Alta, Iowa, right? And I told him, I was like, dude, if you need a ride, I'll give you a ride to the hotel. You know, I'll hook you up. You know, I'm a friend. You know. And I drove him to Alta, Iowa, 8 hours away. I told him my life story basically about growing up hating him, wanting to be a wrestler and all this shit. And he says, I'll tell you what, you could come out as my manager tonight. He's like, you think you could play manager? I'm like, dude, I totally can. You watch wrestling long enough, you can play manager, you know? So we get there, I'm walking around, and I see there's Sensational Sherry, Blue Meanie, Jasmine St. Clair, that porn star he was banging for a while.
Jasmine St. Cunt. Fuck her.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Jasmine.
St. Cunt.
Greg the Hammer.
Fuck Jasmine.
And there was a couple other guys that were there too that I recognized. And I wound up going out with the Sheik. It was one of the guys who played La Parka. I don't know which one. He was a younger kid. Had long hair, but looked Italian, didn't look really Mexican to me. He was playing like Kid America or something, and he was going up against the Iron Sheik. So I watched how everything was done.
Wasn't that Don Juan was doing La Parka?
What's that?
Chris, wasn't Don Juan doing La Parka?
No, you doing Doink.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So we did a little spot. I jumped up to give the Sheik the gimmick, and dude popped me in the head. I felt, of course, I really gave it my all, hitting that apron, doing the apron bump, boom, and onto the ground, you know, sold it like a mug. And on the way back, he told me about some school up in Wisconsin, and I had already gone previously to Windy City, so my heart was already there. I'm a bit, I hate taking a leap. Once I get familiar with something, that's where my loyalty lies, you know. So even though I was only in the door the one time, the door had already been open, so I wasn't going to no other place. And I wanted.
And thank God, because he was the godfather of promoting. Sam DeCero definitely knew his business, and we still salute him.
And it went from there. After that, I wrestled for them till they shut the doors. And then I started to go. I took a break off, went through some bad times, and started to get sober. And I started wrestling again. I met my friend Nick, local kid by us. He was wrestling way down south in Illinois, and I started to go down there. And so that's where I've been going up and down Illinois and Indiana and
We do charity
Wisconsin.
shows.
We do a lot of charity shows now.
A lot of charity.
So
Okay.
good charity shows, not really shitty ones, you know, where it's the shady promoter. He's like, yeah, you guys come in and work for free. It's a charity. It's not one of them. We actually see the door money go right to the people who is affected. It's not going to like some big corporation kind of shit. You know, it's going to individuals in the town that we perform in and been since. So
Nice.
yeah.
kind of feel like
So-
you're bouncing around and rambling.
Well, he
worse
asked
than
about
me.
how it got started.
There's
I told
so
him,
much in between.
and I
that
brought
he
it up.
can't-
Did you see how I did it? I brought it up in about 18 seconds. She would still. We'd be about 18 minutes in and still not even quarter way through the story.
Now, how many more questions do you have for him to fill in all those gaps?
We never really have questions, so I don't know. We just kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
You act as if we have some kind of fucking structure over here, man.
So, as I would love to add, and of course I will.
Why, please do.
Yeah, I mean,
Encourage her, bro. Thanks.
So, as the Iron Sheik entered our lives and brought him back to Windy City Pro Wrestling to say, yes, Sam DeCiro is the one that needs to train you. Of course, he didn't have a driver's license at the time. And of course, I had to take up that slack and bring him to all those practices and do all those shows, and I had, even though I grew up on wrestling, I never thought that was going to be my life. I grew up around musicians and always thought I was going to be that punk rock girl, but don't have any talent myself except for just being me.
She saw the attention I was getting, and I'd come home and she'd be a fucking bitch.
Oh,
She'd be a bitch. And then that's why I'm like, well, you know what? You're either going to be out there with me or stop
do it.
bitching
Hit,
about
hit
it.
him again. Hit him again.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Yeah,
That's-
because he's missing a whole
No,
bunch
that's
here.
how it was.
So for 5 years of his wrestling debuts, I sat in the audience. I did ring crew.
Bitching.
I did concession
bitching.
stands because if I had to be there, I needed to do something, but I wasn't the wrestler. And I surely wasn't going to put my body on the line to watch him because I was probably going to have to take care of him in the future. So who's going to take care of
The
me?
roles are reversed, though.
Oh, my Lord.
I take care of
So
you.
as we were
She
doing
went with the
his
hand.
dream, as we were beginning his dream of all of this, his promoter and his trainer actually saw the it factor in this guy. I don't know what the hell he saw in him. I guess,
either.
like,
I don't
what the
either.
fuck? But it was every time there was an opportunity for a place for him in a show or something, very green, right when he started. Not many people would have those opportunities. Doc actually got those opportunities because it was that it factor. There was something about his charisma and his
'Cause
entertainment.
I'm not an asshole like you say. I'm a nice fucking guy, and people like me.
For this
So,
moment,
get
he's a
the
nice
fuck out of
guy.
here.
oh, this moment.
For this moment,
We're on TV. Shh.
right?
Not just
But-
a gimmick, it's a lifestyle.
Speaking of TV, though,
We've already witnessed an admission of criminal activities and domestic violence in the same show. So it's going pretty well.
Yeah.
Dude, I got some. Yeah, I did, huh? We're criminals.
no,
Because I'm a criminal.
no,
Isn't there
you
a
know
song?
what his
Yeah.
criminal activity was?
Breaking the
He
law.
ripped
breaking the
a
law.
label off a pillow.
Motherfucker.
And that
no, you
is
didn't.
what
That's what I
made him
tell
criminal.
people. That's what I tell
You
kids.
are a
at the shows.
monster.
They
I
say
know, right?
the kids at the shows be like, "Why are you in jail?" I'd be like, "Cause okay, this is where I got it from. Remember Pee Wee Herman, Big Adventure?" And
That's right.
they're in the car. He gets picked up by the hitchhiker who's a prisoner, and he's like, "What did you do? Why are you in jail?" He's like, "I took a knife, and then I
Yeah.
cut the do not cut tag off by federal penalty of law, and they arrested me for it." So that's what I tell the kids is what I did.
Well, we have hit the halfway
Loves
point
you.
of the show. Before moving forward, guys, I just got to announce coming up here in a couple of weeks over here at the Antisocial Network, we're going to be introducing a new show starring somebody that you might recognize, a guy that you may have seen once or twice fucking before, and of course, the great Doug Damien. And we're going to be reviewing video clips that are supposedly shot on, by people or surveillance footage or whatever of supernatural activities. We're going to decide after watching it together if it's real, if it's a bunch of fucking bullshit. And with that being said, I have to show the intro to it. So here we go. And I see with that, we lost all of our viewers.
They just logged out, man.
Self-deprecating humor.
The spirits took them.
That's funny.
So that's going to be it. Keep your eyes open for Ghosted. I think it's going to be a cool little bit we're going to do over here.
Dude,
We had footage.
I got
Real
pictures
good
of
footage.
from the Myrtles.
The Myrtle.
I got the ladies.
plantation.
I got a woman standing in there in her dress. Dude.
Oh, the Myrtles. Oh, I want to go there so bad.
We did, dude, and it won't be fucking disappointing. I'm telling you. Almost every picture we took, there was something unexplainable. We walked up the first
in Louisiana, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, in Lafayetteville or St. Lawrenceville.
Something like that.
St. Francis.
Something.
St. Francisville. That's where
it's about
it is.
an hour outside of New Orleans, towards Texas.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going
So
north.
Baton Rouge. So it's only
we
like
walked
that,
in
past Houston.
We went there and we went to the room. They have little. We couldn't stay in the house there; it was already rented. So we were staying in a little hotel there, and we walked out of the room, put our shit in the room, walked out. It was just about dark, and I walk up and I seen a fucking guy standing on the porch, and I stopped and I like because it was a pole, and I turned and I had to like peek around the pole. I'm like, what the fuck was that? And I know what I saw, and all of a sudden I hear boots going across the deck, and it was to the point where I'm like, they're lying to me. I went under their deck. I was under the deck at the Myrtles looking for shit. Like, what did they have that they just made boots? How did they do that? Like, I thought it was a freaking setup, dude. I'm like, they're just screwing with us to make it. Oh, look, we had her boots and saw a ghost. Now, yeah, because you put it there, but I didn't, dude. I was under that front porch and I didn't find nothing, man. I got video.
Right, we're definitely going to have to come on the show. Let's put a pin in that. I don't want to blow WrestleShoot.
Right on.
All right. So you were about to correct him because you are the woman. And of course, that means you're much smarter than him. So please continue.
So with the it factor being in play, I don't know if you all remember Dave Attell from Insomniac.
Yeah.
Back in the day of Comedy Central. So when he was doing Insomniac, he came to Chicago and did the whole nightlife tour and ended up at Windy City Pro Wrestling at one of their training sessions. Every time they spoke about somebody getting hurt, there was Doc getting the fuck beat out of him on national television. And from there, it just seemed like it was destined for him to really do some great things. Unfortunately, us being young and dumb and going through our own issues, as he was saying, growing up and whatnot, and being a drug addict and dipping into all those little things that mommy said never to do, but, you know, we have to do.
But mommy's no fun.
Yeah, I blew some big opportunities, dude. I blew big opportunities.
His coach, his promoter, definitely saw something in him and kept pushing and just wanted to counsel us to, you know, hey, you guys can make it through this and whatnot. And as we were trying to kick some real hard stuff, it ended up kind of backfiring because the drugs ended up making us look so much better. And people that thought that we were sober would come and end up saying, oh my God, that was the best match ever.
Yeah,
and,
it was
you know, it was very heartbreaking. So we were building something for greatness, but it was based on false pretenses, even though we were just being ourselves. It definitely put a damper on, oh, well, let's get sober and maybe not be so great, you know. It makes you think, you know, like, well, if I'm so wonderful on these drugs, then why would I have to give them up, you know? But in that process, the Iron Sheik also, he wanted to train him personally, bring him out to Georgia, and he asked for me to write his autobiography, which now is on a DVD documentary
Yeah, he wanted
type
us
thing.
to do that.
But that was something that the Sheik wanted to give us that opportunity to do with him. And unfortunately, we had small children, and we couldn't just pack up our lives to go to Georgia to hang out with the Iron Sheik. Of course, everybody would have done that, but you know, it was kind of a responsibility of me, the wife, to say, hey, no, we have to stick around and, you know, try to live reality. So we actually did. Unfortunately, our drug path was very long, but we kept everything together as much as what people thought everything was great. We lost a lot of time for ourselves to actually pursue the greatness of the opportunities that were actually
Dude, I
right
sent
there.
in the first. You remember Tough Enough? Remember that show?
Yeah.
Tough Enough. So the first time they reached out to a couple promotions and asked for headshots and stuff like that. So they wound up. He sent I think 10 of us. He sent off, gave them headshots and a little backstory of all that, you know, whatever they wanted. So the second, it was either the second or the third Tough Enough, they wound up contacting, and they wanted me personally. I went through a whole bunch of stuff, dude. They had different rounds before you got to make it through the stupid. You fill out some shit. You tell them a little story, and they're like, okay, you made it through first round. Round 2 is, I think it was the phone call or the video, and then the phone call. Like, I made it all the way to the third round, and dude, I was fucked up, man. I sent my video in. They wanted me to do a video. I sent it in. I was just fucking trashed, and that was the end.
Whoops.
But for them to ask, they asked for me. They didn't call and ask for fucking the champion. They didn't call and ask, you know, at Windy City at the time. They were messaged and wanted me, and it was me, a girl, and another guy that they wanted to check out of like the 20 headshots that they sent them 2 years prior. So they saw our work and stuff, and they obviously thought there was something there that they could have used me for if they were interested, but I blew that.
So yeah,
talked about my fish. It was
he
fucking
talked about
embarrassing,
his fish.
dude.
How ridiculous! You know, the things that drugs make you do, right?
Dude, I had some fish. I was just really in a bad spot in my life, and I couldn't think of nothing. Like I couldn't do this at the time. I couldn't sit and talk to people. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I mean, I was deep into being a loser, you know, antisocial. So it just I had no life experience that I can talk about. Like, I did the wrestling thing. I fucked my back up. I couldn't talk about my back being fucked up because, you know, obviously they knew then there's like, oh, that's why he's on fucking drugs.
His back ended up happening on that Comedy Central show as they taped that actually happened in the ring on national television 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Beats happened at a show with 10 people and nobody cares, right?
Yeah.
Well, what everybody should care is that we've been sober for 10 years now off of all those hard drugs.
Half-ass sober.
And
Fucking right.
well, it's Illinois and we smoke a massive amount of weed. So
I love my mushrooms.
yeah.
Florida man, you're my Florida Connect now, coming down to see you.
But
I am actually going on 6 years of clean off a massive cocaine addiction myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I took Chris through a real tough time there.
Yeah. It does definitely give you the delusions that you could do anything. And when you actually come to your mind, you're saying, what the fuck? We had everything. And we ended up doing nothing with it. But now, being more mature and living all those crazy lessons, he's definitely not.
We're mature.
See, we are the masters of illusion.
I'm not mature.
I think that's the best thing about wrestlers. We can make anything seem real, and
We're professional liars.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
in the sense of entertainment,
Storytellers.
Mimi,
We're professional storytellers.
Yep. There you
I
go.
have to say that one thing that everybody is drawn with us is we are the real deal. Everything you see in the ring, outside the ring, in our everyday life, it is definitely what just
It
makes us.
It makes it easier to do it too because there's no acting.
There's
really
no acting.
Involved, you know.
Everything about us is holy shit. Is that really them? Our friends. I have this real horrible attitude, I guess, that people are like, "Oh, you're so intimidating. I don't know if I could come and talk to
It's
you."
a bitch.
Yes, I am Miss Bitch Haven.
Yeah.
Misbehaving at the fullest, and if you can't handle it,
You're
then
Candace,
I'm not
bitch.
your flavor. But I promise, all those people that said, "Oh, I can't taste that," they all want to, and that's what makes us even better. That we draw people into our fucked up lives. We have made TV episodes on our fucked up house, all the things that we do, just moving into a new house and stuff. We bring entertainment to just having a normal conversation. And yeah, we're a little wasted, a little fucked, but
Is home where you are right now?
no, actually, where I'm
What
at
a
right
job.
now is at my work.
Is that a judge's bench behind you?
So I was going to say that.
It's a VF. We're at the VFW.
We're at the VFW
Whoa.
in Dwight,
It looks like a
Illinois.
judge bench, dude.
It does.
The
I
whole
see that.
show, I've been like, are we in a fucking courtroom right now? I don't do that anymore.
We are the judges and the jury.
Shit.
We're gonna have to give you. You're gonna have to drop today. So we'll get to the nurse over there. Get you the cup. We're gonna have to drop you.
So silly us when we asked what time the show was. Of course, you guys' response was from 8 to 10. Well, I am the bartender here, and Sundays I open the bar and I close the bar. So I am the only one here throughout the whole day. And when I ended up working out those looking at the details, I said, "Oh fuck, it's Tampa time is 8 to 10. So that means 7 o'clock here." So luckily enough, I was able to find one of our minions to come in
One of our
and
minions. It's the fucking retired cop.
I have a cop
He's a
running
retired
my
cop.
bar for me right
He's not a
now.
minion.
So
Well, in the interest of full disclosure, I never said 8 to 10. I said 8 Eastern Standard Time. We actually only go
Yeah.
for an hour.
Oh,
Just
okay.
FYI.
I thought it said 10 too.
oh yeah, so
cool.
see that's
Great. That's kind of cool.
leave
Because I
it
was
to the
sitting there thinking I
stoners
need a
not to know what
cigarette.
the hell's going on.
There you go.
know?
So, Chris, I got a question for you, buddy. You're
All right.
in real estate in California?
Oh, Texas.
Oh,
Texas.
Texas. All
Yeah,
right.
Austin.
He wants to buy a gold mine.
They got
Can you find one?
They got gold mines in California. They're selling on like
Damn,
eBay.
no
Fuck
shit.
out of here. Are you
Gemrite.
kidding me?
It's gem rights.
Gem rights.
So, I figured when I put West Coast, I forgot you were in Texas.
Yeah, well, I'm from the West Coast, but I've been in Texas for quite a long time.
We're
Right
in
on,
Texas.
right
I grew up in New Orleans, so I'm kind of like all over that little down south area.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love New Orleans.
Yeah, we have fun in fucking New Orleans. Believe that.
Fuck yeah, NOLA, baby. Who that? Who that?
Who there? Who there?
Sick of New Orleans.
Who there? Who there? What do you say?
Oh, yeah.
Who
Oh my
dat?
honey, boy. Damn.
We're
Give me a
actually
Kool-Aid.
going back. He keeps saying no, but we just got to go. We went and saw Stevie Nicks at Heritage Fest last May, and this May, Dead and Company is headlining for their last tour, supposedly. But you know how all those big bands say, "Oh, it's our farewell tour," but
I think
Right. I think Kiss has had 97 of those.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I think so.
I think he has
Don't-
enough money there, huh? But
Motherfuckers. And I love Kiss, and I've been mad at them since that last one. You
Yeah.
cunts.
my
One more
daughter
time.
absolutely
This is their last
is,
one.
There was a
right?
lot of people pissed off
A lot
about
of
Motley
people.
Crue because they said they were done, and I had a buddy that paid ton of cash for nosebleed seats. And then as soon as they came back, he was on Facebook, bitch. And he's like, I would have never paid. I want to say it was like $300 for, as far away as you could possibly be from the stage.
We got to see Tommy up on the roller coaster drum set, though, and that was pretty badass.
That was
I got to do coke with Tommy. Just saying.
Ooh,
I'm just saying.
that's
cool.
kind of good. We have a long list of people, good people that we
I can't say.
we can't say though.
indulge
Yeah,
in
we're
that.
still in this business, so we can't tell those stories yet. But
Not
yeah,
yet. But there's
Yeah.
a book coming. You better believe it. All right. So look, we got about 15 minutes left, highballs. So let's jump forward to some of the fun stories. Like when you all is just being dicks to each other, but you got to go to a show. Tell me about that.
It's horrifying. It's her.
All that. How's that work out?
okay.
It's her freaking out about getting her makeup on, and she's the fucking rookie, and she'll sit there. And
After 25 years, he still calls me
Hey,
a fucking rookie.
She's supposed to bring my bag and shit into the venue, and
Get the
she's
fuck
in the
out of
car
here.
doing her makeup. I gotta play bumper tag because, of course, all the dudes are like, "Yo, where's misbehaving at?" It got to the point I'm like, "Oh, she's in the car right there. That Jeep. Go over,
Yeah.
talk to her." And
And-
she got half a face on.
Yeah.
Yeah, learn
And then
that
I
trick.
say,
She
there's
gets-
so
awesome.
many
She's
ring
in there
rats
smoking
around.
a bowl and
How come
fucking
I
hanging
have
out.
to carry your bag? Can we find a ring rat? I mean, come on. We all know that they're there. Come on, like kind of like a pocket, you know?
I mean, a ring rat is a term that I use too, but like technically,
Oh,
that's just a horrible name to call a woman who's willing to give you something as wonderful as some pussy. So, ring rat, I don't know about all that.
That's funny.
well, I am definitely not that ring rat, and definitely the queen. And yeah,
The queen ring
The
rats.
fuck, listen. Only because they all want me, not him. So you know,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Now we're getting
So-
interesting stories.
Yeah,
That
now
ends up
it's
being
turning
a
into a
wonderful
party. Let's
deal.
continue on that vein.
Right. Well, that definitely is a thing. And I love my ladies, I gotta say, you know, and
Me
the
too.
ladies kind of like both of us. So why not? You know? After being together for so long, if you can't enjoy the things that make you happy together, then
Talk
what's the point?
So much shit right now.
Talking so much shit. Listen to him. But man, he surely enjoys that shit when we bring it home, right?
Uh-huh.
I
mean, I don't know.
I'm laughing at you. You're a fucking liar.
Oh my God.
Shit.
Oh my
He's
God.
trying to work
Amy!
a gimmick, man.
Where's Amy at? Amy, you know those stories? Are they true? I can't see any of anybody else's comments if we even have any
She hasn't-
viewers anymore.
hasn't
but,
put anything in
that's
yet.
okay.
Oh no, we still got our viewers. Trust me on that one.
I
She's here.
promise
She
if
put something.
if the people
Watch
that
me,
actually know us ended up beating in, yeah, everything that is said is definitely 100% true.
Well, man, I feel like Amy knows you. She chimed in.
Amy knows
let's
us.
see.
I've known Amy.
James
I've
Dickinson
known her
does,
the
you know.
longest. I've known her for, I don't know, 45 years
Oh.
probably.
And she speaks. Here we go.
Indeed, the stories
Indeed,
are
the
true.
stories are true.
Oh no.
Yeah,
All right, Chris. All right, Chris. Who the fuck is working us out of two of them then? Is it him? Is he trying to work us? Or is it her?
Oh,
I say
man.
her.
Ooh. Well, if
think
I
I'm
feel like
working,
I
the
think it's
deck
him.
has been stacked against
I feel like you need to
DOC
do a
all
little
night.
twirl
So
or
I'm
something.
standing I'm gonna stand with her on the winning or with him on the winning team. She's working it.
Yes.
You guys, I swear
What do
to
you
God,
think,
I
Chris?
think it's just a men.
She does
thing.
She does overdo it a little. She does
What do you
work
That's
it
think,
a
what makes
little.
me, baby. I'm a tourist.
working it,
If
Chris?
anybody knows what a tourist is, I definitely overdo everything.
Who is it, Chris? Who's working it?
Maybe it's both, like James said.
Oh, come on, you wishy-washy, middle of the road fucking
That,
hat.
hey,
I
That's
feel
what I'm
like you're
saying.
playing safe.
James
Yeah,
Dixon.
that pussy.
yes.
I
You've
got
never
video
been
of
that
me.
guy before.
Hey, that James Dixon guy, I got slow motion video of me punching him in the back of the head because he wouldn't fucking sell.
The best
Remember that
job
motherfucker?
ever.
Fuck the
I know.
shop.
Hey, just like me and Chris have told a million young guys in the back throughout our years, dude, you better start selling before you start selling.
You know what this fucker told me? His name's
Yeah.
Stonewall, right? He's Stonewall. Stonewalls don't go down. Look, and he can't even type. It just says shut. Shut up, motherfucker. Shit up.
Shut up.
Nothing right.
We don't
Shit
shut
up.
up, baby. You know
And
this.
then he wrote shit up. You are melted.
Chris, you shut your fuck mouth, okay?
So a stone wall is a stone wall.
He don't
doesn't
go
move.
down. I said,
Yeah.
motherfucker, Hulk Hogan bumps. Andre the Giant bumps. You gonna tell me Stonewall ain't getting knocked the fuck down.
No, you're
Take a
bumping.
double clothesline for me and my son. When my son wrestled with us, he's bigger than I am. And there's Stonewall. He just did his little stumble. I'm like, oh,
I mean,
I'm
Christ,
fucking him up.
even the great Khali took a bump for Chris, dude. Everybody's got a bump.
Oh,
Right.
sure.
Stonewall, did you hear that? Did you hear that, Stonewall?
You better work on it for the next show, buddy.
Sorry, buddy. I
Oh,
didn't
wait.
mean to get you in trouble over there, Stonewall.
He's always in trouble.
My fat thumbs.
My
Yeah.
fat
Okay.
thumbs. No,
You
it's
should have
your
said,
fucking
you should have
bling
said my
bling.
fat dick.
Yeah.
Or that stone wall that he's standing up against,
Yeah.
That's right, motherfucker.
right?
That's
All right, so you guys pretty much seem like after a long time you've been kicking it pretty true with each other. So, like, how the people can't do that in a regular marriage, much less a work and then a shoot marriage. So, like, where's your besides the guy takes out the trash? Where's your middle of the road?
Middle of the road?
Oh shit!
There's
That's funny. We've been in the middle of lots of roads.
it was yeah. Don't.
There you go.
Chris,
you know-
remember when you used to cuddle me like that?
Yeah. You don't give me nothing back though, so screw
I
that.
promised myself I wouldn't cry.
That's funny.
So, you know, we were
a
together.
lot of things have changed over the past few years. So I'm definitely more of the caretaker as far as like the house and
Uh-oh.
I mean, go ahead, look
That's
and
kind
laugh.
of what a guy is supposed to do,
No.
right?
Yeah, they take care of each other. It's not about being a guy or a girl. It's just that
So,
we take care
like
of each
most
other.
wrestlers,
That's what a
They-
beaten man says.
like
Yeah.
most wrestlers,
I am pretty beaten, dude. I really am. You don't even know.
with being in the wrestling business, most wrestlers just pursue wrestling. Not many of them know that you actually have to have a job and, you know, pay your bills and stuff like that. And it costs a lot of money to get to all these shows. So I was able to,
Here it is. She worked. I
I
stayed
worked.
home, smoked doped all day, watched the fucking kids, and didn't do a fucking thing for years. And I've passed about 8 years now. Past 8 years, that's kind of changed. I went to work. She stayed home. The kids are they're
all
old
of
as
our
fuck
kids
now
are grown.
and
So
all
once
out
they
of
got
house, so-
grown, he actually realized, oh my God, yeah, I have to have a real job. And, you
that
know, and
instinct kicked in at some point. It's weird. It was like a man. I want to say a manly instinct, but it was like an instinct to where like, dude, you got to get up and what do you do? Like, you know, it was like a slap in the face. I had to get up. Like a switch went on. I had to get up. I got a job.
I started
and-
having some medical issues.
and then
so
I
I
took
think
care
it
of her.
kind of like that little switch went off that he became mature for like the first time in his life at 40, you know, 41. And he ended up getting a really great job. And then, so things were going good. It was just me and him. We didn't have to worry about the kids anymore. You know, it was just us. We were on our own.
So I worked,
And-
cooked, cleaned, did everything
He definitely
to make
is
up
worth me
to make up
keeping
for being a
for-
loser. You know,
Yeah.
not doing nothing.
He did a lot of things to make up for being a loser. We were both losers, but I held our family together.
Mickey, man, you pulled that one right out of my mind, brother. You say he grew balls. I was gonna say
Yeah.
his balls finally dropped.
Yeah.
Me
and
Mickey on
after
the same
28
page.
years, I still want to suck them. So it's pretty
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
good.
Atta
You know?
girl. Atta
Yes,
girl.
That's
yes.
funny.
It took 4 days before our 26th anniversary for us to actually tie the knot.
Only because we were forced. It was a fucking shotgun marriage brought on by a cunt named Matilda.
Matilda the Hitch.
Matilda the Hitch.
That kind of ruined
Here,
everything.
You want another weird story? An unbelievable story?
Okay.
Coming home from Colorado, working, not wrestling, right? I did a Dollar General store. Coming home, we get all the way home. We're 30 minutes from home, and some fucking moron drops a 90-pound trailer hitch in the middle of the highway. As we're passing a semi, the semi hit it, and it shot through our windshield, cut my boss's arm off, and then fucking blew out all my bones out of this fucking arm. I don't know if you see. That's why I'm kind of like, it's goofy. And when I went to the hospital,
how does that go? Your arm's like what?
So we were at the hospital, and I have a horrible reaction to morphine. One, they wouldn't let her see me because we weren't married. It was a Catholic hospital. They wouldn't talk to her, wouldn't tell her nothing.
Even though I was his emergency contact for 25 years.
Because we weren't married, they wouldn't say nothing. So that's why I say it's kind of brought on. I wouldn't have changed what we had anyway, because then I mean, if God knows, I don't have to go somewhere to a courthouse or fucking whatever. You know what I mean? I didn't really think we had to get married. I think it was a scam for taxes.
It's a scam for money.
To make more money off people.
Yeah.
So I was
why
like,
would that piece of paper
we don't
really
have to change
matter?
nothing. You know, I just keep going the way we were. So it was because of the way they treated her at the hospital, and they gave me, I don't know, like 10 morphine shots, and I turned into the Incredible Hulk, and my arms dangling. I'm trying to fight people. And
right in front of me, I said,
it was fun.
Don't give that to them. And they turned and said, you have no rights here.
Yeah.
You're not married.
Yeah.
So they gave him not one, but 2 shots directly after each other. And they had a whole nother issue than just an exploded arm. He literally turns into the Hulk.
Yeah,
and all that hospital wanted to do was ship him off to another hospital to actually get the trauma care that he needed. But in this whole process, all they cared about was because we weren't married.
Yeah.
And I literally just didn't know if my husband was going to die anyway from his injuries that he got before they even went to the hospital. And now the hospital is literally showing me that they don't care what he's allergic to by the person that has taken care of him for 25 years.
Yeah. And I told them too, when they, cause they hit me before she was even there, the lady walked up and fucking jabbed me in the arm with a shot. I go, what is that? And she goes, morphine. And I go, oh, have fun.
Uh-oh.
Like, what's wrong? You know, like I was like, dude, it's not going to be good. And then I don't remember. The next thing I remember was the doctor holding my wrist with milk jugs strapped to my arm, and he was jumping my thing, trying to line my bones back up and shit. It was fucking crazy, dude. So
God, thank God I didn't react like that when old Cass had to take me to the hospital. Whatever shot they gave me, I don't remember what happened next, but he said I was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, him and his boss were like in separate rooms yelling for each other. Why is my Peter out?
Yeah.
And,
Well, my dick was out.
crazy.
I'm like, and I'm yelling. I'm like, hey, Mike. And he's like, what, bro? I go, is your dick out? And he's like, my dick's out, bro. I'm like, why are our dicks out? Like, his arm was hanging off. My arm was in half. Like, why am I naked?
But they did the whole cut off to make sure that other things
they cut my shirt. They didn't cut my jeans.
They didn't cut your
No,
jeans.
I burned the jeans.
Damn.
They just wanted to see his Peter.
They just wanted to see your dick, bro. What's the
I had
problem,
to tell
man?
him.
They
I
got
started
you
laughing.
relaxed.
I'm like, you know, my dick's really small right now. I was in a traumatic event. I remember the lady's laughing. She's like, I'm never gonna forget this day of my life.
He's a grower, not a shower.
Yeah, I'm a grower, not a shower. Please don't judge me.
Well, we do, guys. Look, we're having a fucking blast here. And it sucks that we're out of time, but we're out of time. So, plug some shit, man. Where can people go see you online, wherever?
Defiant Pro Wrestling is our Facebook. That's our company that we just started. We had our first show 2 weeks ago here in Dwight, and we're going to be running here once a month in Dwight, Illinois. I'm get a lot of young talent I'm looking for. I'm not just one of them places that are going to work my buddies that need, they're old farts that need a place to work. I'm going after the young, good. I got a good fucking. It's not really my roster, but the guys that work for me, man, are fucking phenomenal. Dude.
And we surely are putting championship belts on ourselves just because it's our company. So
I want to though.
Okay.
And we actually give a paycheck, not a hot dog and a handshake.
But that's pretty much all that. I mean, unless there's something else for Defiant. I'm not good at computers, but it's just Facebook page, Defiant Pro Wrestling. It's got the green alien on there.
So most people know us by the 381 family, 3 words, 8 letters, 1 meaning, I love you. But in the wrestling ring, if I hate you, my whole family's coming after you. Just because we look hard doesn't mean our hearts are hard. We definitely have open arms for everybody, and we give 3 kisses, 1 for me, 1 for you, and 1 to put in your pocket for someone new.
Now, Chris, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I think you could take them.
Oh,
I think you should. I think I'll go be your manager, and I think you could take them.
I'll book it. I'll book it.
We will book it. Misbehaving has a tail feather for you, my dear. Let's shake one.
Here's what we do. We book this Stonewall cat, you and Chris, right? And then come the end, man, the 4 of us are going to go ahead and re-educate Stonewall about the folly of this fucking way.
Yes! Yes, I'm for it.
See, I'm supposed to have a table match with him coming up on March 5th or 4th. March 4th. We're back here in Dwight. We're supposed to have a tables match. So it's still up in the air if I'm going to do it. I'm waiting on some doctor stuff to come back. But if it is, he's getting re-educated through a fucking table. That's for sure.
Boom, shaka, boom.
And if he loses, maybe he might have to change his gimmick.
Oh,
I have to.
the stone bitch.
Right, Stone.
We can always change
love
it to
you,
like,
Stonewall.
I don't know, stoner cells, something like that. Like, you better learn to sell or you're going to hell, baby.
Yes!
It's usually followed up by chops. You don't sell? All right, let me show you real quick. Well, it should precede. It should precede, include, and then follow with chops. Fuck that. Chop away, baby. Chop away. Boy, me and Chris used to love slinging them double chops in and just watching both sides of their chest bubble up. Oh, yeah.
My matches are all pretty much just chop, kick, punch, chop, kick, punch. So
Body
a
slam.
couple more. I can't even body slam no more because of my arms destroyed. So
He's more the street brawler.
Yeah.
He likes the barbed wire and the tacks and, the crazy cookie sheets.
not death
and,
matches.
stuff
not
like
death
that.
matches. I can't do the death matches. But
He was the
other-
hardcore champion for a very long
Long time.
time.
The fuck is the difference between a death match and what she just described?
I'm not shoving
pyro?
wooden skewers in anybody's head or getting skewered in my head.
The
with
only death
anything.
matches he has is with me. That's about it.
Ooh, shakalaka. All right. Looks like Christopher's camera went ahead and failed on us. So we're going to call this one a day. Thanks, guys. I hope you're willing to come on back. We had fun.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
Absolutely.
It was a good time, man.
We need to send you our paranormal footage and see what you can debunk.
Yes,
Yeah.
you fucking do. Like, immediately. I'll hit you up about that.
We can do that.
Yeah,
We can
definitely,
do that. We
dude.
got some good stuff, actually.
I got a lot of good stuff for that shit. But hey, thanks
All
a lot
right, guys.
for
We're
having us on.
overtime. What's that?
Thanks a lot for having us on, man. I appreciate it, brother.
Nah, we had a great time. But we're overtime, guys. So see you next time.
Peace
Bye.
out, guys. Take it easy, Chris.
Yeah.
Thanks.